I'm Roxy with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're all about musical theater, then this is the place to be, and don't forget to click and subscribe. And so I want to talk to drama coaches and drama directors in high school or junior highs that maybe want to tackle a musical for the first time. And I want to give you guys some tips. So if you've just been doing like some drama classes and maybe doing a play or a comedy here and there, but you've never wanted to tackle a musical, you feel they're very daunting, you don't know if your students are ready for one, but you just really want to get in there and do a musical, you think it'd be really fun, and they're really fun. Let me give you some things to think about. First, be passionate. Whatever musical you choose, like, be really passionate about that musical, because you're going to be taking it on for weeks, rehearsing it for weeks. And, you know, midway into it, you don't want to be thinking, oh, I'm so sick of these songs. If I hear that song one more time, I'm going to cringe. So love the musical and just think, oh, I just can't stop hearing these songs. Okay, you got to make it fun. You got to make it fun for the students, because musicals are fun, and you want to pick a musical that's not just one that you love, but one that the students love. So you've got to find a musical that everyone can agree on. Not everyone obviously is going to agree on it, but that a majority of you can, you know, come to a meeting of the minds and say, okay, this is going to be a great musical for everyone, and everyone's going to have fun with it. You have to be realistic about the manageable musical that you want to do. You have to consider your space, you know, the venue, your auditorium, or where you're going to do it, your budget, and there's your community where you're going to do it, your audience. You know, you may want some sweeping epic, but you know, like a My Fair Lady or something, but you have a very small auditorium, and you have to consider, you know, your budget. What do you have the money for? So, and your talent pool. You know, don't consider a show like Annie, and you may think, oh, you know, do I even have a girl that can handle that role? I mean, maybe you haven't heard everybody sing, or you don't even know if anyone can sing, but kind of have an idea of what, you know, is in your school, or, you know, if anyone kind of would fill those roles, have the ability to fill those roles. Not that you're going to precast it, because somebody may come in and audition that day and blow your socks off and go, oh, I had no idea they had that kind of voice. But you do kind of have to know in advance, like, do I have some dancers? Do I have some people that can sing? I mean, they could kind of fill those roles, because you don't want to announce a show and then people come to audition and you're like, I don't have anybody that can do this show. So just kind of know in advance your talent pool. You have to know also, is this a musical that will, you know, I can sell tickets to? You don't want to pick something too odd, especially for your first musical, like Seussical the Musical, that nobody really knows, or, you know, the grandma and grandpas and the families of the world or in your community will kind of go, what is that? You know, pick something kind of like maybe a classic, a Guys and Dolls, or Music Man, although Music Man's kind of a big musical to tackle your first time out. But, you know, just something that's classic, everybody's familiar with and would love to come see, is what I'm saying. Okay. Know that you have a support system in place, because it takes a lot to mount a musical. So know that you have, you know, other teachers, a staff, volunteers, get the kids involved. I say parents with a double-edged sword, because parents can be a help and a hindrance. Parents are great. Parents can be great volunteers, but parents sometimes can have another agenda. They may think, well, I really helped you at this show, but my little Sally or Johnny, you know, maybe next time they could be the lead or in another show, and maybe Sally and Johnny aren't the most talented kids. So they sometimes kind of want that you know, I did this for you, but what can you do for me next time? So kind of watch out for parents. You might already know that just from plays and things you've cast. But you are going to need help for this show. Just sometimes musicals require much more with costumes and props and sets and just all kind of things. They're just bigger. Musicals are just bigger. There's just many more layers with musicals. That's why I say also be careful with some of those sweeping epic musicals that are period pieces and just require more. Like a Beauty and the Beast, those costumes are enormous. Also, know like what you have on staff, like for musical director, choreographers. Like if you have a choral teacher in your school that's going to be able to cover music, or you have a dance teacher in school that's going to be able to handle the dance, that's great. But if it's a really difficult musical that has difficult vocals or difficult dance, you might need to bring in somebody for music director or choreographer. I've done a lot of musicals with schools, and I was always brought in as a choreographer. So you might want to consider that. Think, oh, you know, this has got a lot of difficult vocals, difficult harmonies, especially if you're picking like a Sondheim show or a Weber show, something like that, Andrew Lloyd Webber show. So just think, this is, you know, we're doing chorus line, and that dance is very difficult. So you think, oh, and I might need to bring in a choreographer for that. I'm just saying, like, really think about the show you have chosen or want to choose and what that's going to entail. Have a vision for your show from the beginning. Just know where you want to take it, and whatever people you bring on to help you do that, that you all have a meeting from the minds at the beginning, and you all have the same vision of how to get there and how you want the musical to the finished product of it. Because, you know, anywhere from scenic design to lighting design, and you just are all on the same page. Because if people start to veer off and say, well, I see it this way and I see it this way, it's like it can start to fray at the edges and get very stressful. So just have that first meeting and say, this is how we all see the show, which is my vision because I'm the director. Definitely get the students involved as much as possible. I mean, obviously the cast, but also get them involved with crew, tech, costumes, makeup, stage manager, dance captain, you know, because as much as the kids are involved, they'll feel like it's a team effort, and they'll want it to look great, and they'll be proud of it in the end. And, you know, it'll be like a team effort, and you just want them involved. It'll be great. Get organized from the get-go. Like make a rehearsal schedule and try to stick to it as much as possible. I mean, obviously there's always things you might have to have a little flexibility on, but be organized, because like I say, there's so many layers to a musical. I mean, plays, comedies, it's pretty much just, you know, learn the script, blocking, you know, then there's tech week. But with a musical, you have to consider that they're going to need time to learn the songs. They're going to need time to learn the choreography. Then you're going to add blocking. And I know it, once kids start to learn those songs, then they have to get away and off the music. Then they start to add choreography. It starts to get jumbled in their head. Then they add blocking to it. Then they go back to they add the number, the musical number within the scene. It starts to get very jumbled in their head. And then they start to kind of lose fragments. They really need the time, enough time, to have all that rehearsal time to music, dance, blocking, and have enough time to rehearse that and put the show all together. Then add costumes, lights, sound. Tech week can be crazy for a musical, so just have a set schedule, leave enough time for yourself. And know the show yourself. Like, know the script backwards and forwards so that you stay on track and you can think, okay, are we ahead of schedule? Are we behind? Like, don't leave yourself to that last minute of like, oh my God, this is not coming together as fast as it should. Like, take a breath, and say, nope, we're right where we should be. And at the end of the day, just have fun. Your first musical will not go perfectly. There's a lot to it, but you know, just at the end of the day, as long as you had fun, the kids had fun, the audience enjoyed it, then it's been a success. All right, I do wish you success in your first endeavor, in your first musical. Just make it manageable, have fun, be passionate. I wish you all the luck. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next.